Hello and welcome. This is video number 7 of our circular knitting course, and we're going to be finishing off the ends on this beanie. Honestly though, this applies to any cinch style cast on and cast off that you would use on a circular knitting machine. We're going to finish off the ends in such a way that they're nice and secure, especially for charity work, if that's what you're doing. So join me as we finish off this cool beanie, all right? Needle in hand. Don't want to get these tools in the middle of things. However, okay, so what I'm going to do here is I like to start off with the inside end, okay? Why do I do that? Mostly because when I gather up on the end, that when I gather up on the end, that way I know I've got everything together and not twisted. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring it outside. So now we have the pretty side out. This is the right side. Okay, and we see where we're at, right? Everything's the way we want it. Yay. And you can look and see where that color change hit. But it's not weird, it's just in there. Okay. I'm probably going to work on getting that even smoother, and I'll put a video out for that. Alright, so what I want to do here is I want to work on this side. This is my inside seam. This is a little, because when I pulled that, remember that 2 foot that I gave it? Yeah, make sure it's not more than, not much less than that, because anyway, so I want to start this cinching up. Remember when I told you it's a cinch style cast on or cast off? Well, that's what this is. It's cinch style. You can do other styles of cast ons. That's not the only way to cast on. There are other styles. However, they're far more tedious than that. But this is what, that's what these machines are made for, is making tubes. You can make a lot of other things with it. But we're in the beginning stages now, aren't we? Alright, so we see that the yarn is coming through. See how I just tugged on that? We can see where it's at. It's coming through this way. So what I'm going to do, because I like things to be secure and not worry about them and give a quality product, I'm going to go in with my yarn and I'm going to go around those stitches. This is securing my closure, because this is acrylic yarn, so that also means to me that it's going to go to a charity. It probably won't be till this fall, but it depends on when you're watching this. It may not matter. So I'm just going around it to secure that. And if I'm going in the same direction, it'll make cinching it together that much easier. And by the way, when you do this with black, you'll understand why I said don't start with black, please. Because black makes things much harder to see where you're at. Go to black after you get confident, no problem. But black yarns, or even dark grays, are just no fun whatsoever. Okay, I know I've been around all the way at this point. Now, this is also a time when you make sure that you didn't catch any other stitches in the midst of doing that, because that happens. Alright, so I pulled that together, and this is a good strong yarn, so I can give it a good tug. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come into the middle, and I'm going to just come outside of that stitch in an X-type fashion to make sure this thing is closed. Now it doesn't matter as much on the inside as it does, and I'm going to just jump over a stitch or two, do the same thing, just going the opposite way, just closing it. All I'm doing is stitching that puppy closed, and it's matching yarn, so it really doesn't matter. But now this is one of my little tricks that I use, is I jumped over a yarn. I'm going to push it through the center. Okay, I'm pushing it through the center. That way I've got that puppy, right? Now what I'm going to do is, because we have that on that end, and now I'm going to take this through the center of the whole thing. It's going to it from a different point than when I just pushed through the center. Okay, now I'm going to go with my hand inside, and I've got my fingers. I'm widening that out to make sure that I get the right place. That's weird. Okay, I'm widening it out to make sure I get the right place, and I'm going to grab that needle and see where my fingers are? I'm just getting the hold of that closure, so that way I know. Now I'm going to grab that through. Now here's a kind of a critical piece, because all that work that you put into the thing, if you get it twisted at this point, it really lays weird and it doesn't wear right. So you want to make sure that you're not twisted. Do what you know, if that's shaky, make sure it lays right. Whatever you feel like, it's laying beautifully right there. But now you also can see a really good example. So I'm pulling that out. I got that pulled out, right? There's my end yarn going out that direction. And it's coming out this way. But you're also seeing something else. See that? That's 3 to 4 rows, right? Okay. And guess what will happen with that? That makes that inside row turn nicely. Okay, sorry. We kind of got ahead of ourselves there. Okay, so now I'm going to take this outside piece and I'm going to work it cinchy. Okay, and it's going to want to roll in, so you just work it around. Now, some people are going to ask, well, you know, that's not the cheapest yarn that you can run for doing a whole bunch of those. Well, honestly, I don't think it changes that much when you get them on sale. I've done the math, and I would rather get a better yarn that I don't have to fight with. Now, you can use a lot of, like, your Michaels Big Heart. I used to have some, but I don't have the labels on them anymore, so it's hard to tell. Because I've ended up having to cake those. And so, alright, so what I'm doing, this is funny. So, my inside yarn ended up being the matching piece to that. I got lucky there. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that that puppy, I literally can see him, see the other closure right there in that middle, which is really nice. So now I'm going to take this guy and put my needle back on and do the exact same thing I did with the inside closure. Is I'm seeing where he's coming from, so now I know that I'm going to go around this way. Hopefully my head is not blocking your shot. I'm trying, but it's also not ergonomic. I'm just going to go around those stitches to make sure that we have a really solid closure, with this being the outside. Not that this isn't completely reversible, but the intention of the outside. I don't know if you can hear the rooster on the outside. It's time for them to be let out. They won't let out. I have to, at some juncture, stop the camera. If you're wondering when you can tell that, I mean, you kind of can tell where it's starting to gather. So that's pretty much it. Because if you've done it right, it's hard to tell. All right. Now, we have it. We have the dude that's, we have it to where we're pretty sure it's not twisted, right? Right? We're pretty sure that it's not twisted. It's got a nice closure. Look at how nicely that pulled together like that, right? All right, now let's go ahead and give it. This is where having that string right there is kind of a key. What I like to do for good measure is I like to come into right next to like this and pick up one of those stitches on the inside. Is this overkill? Honestly, I don't think so. I think that I want to make a quality product that the person can use for a long period of time and not have to worry about it. So I say it's not overkill. Other people will be like, that takes too long. You're probably right, but when you do something, when you're doing things for other people because you care, It may not take as long as you think. Alright. So now that I've got that X'd, this is why it's so important to have those two. Now I'm going to tie them together. I've got it X'd. I've got it closed. He's super secure. Now, at this point, you've got it closed. Now, let's just check. You know what? I don't think it's tight enough. I can kind of see in there a smidge. That's not the stitch to go in, though. I'm just going to run one more because I think it's important to have it together right. Yep, there we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and knot that again because it's a great way to finish off that stitch. Now, at this point, other than, now is where you have to decide whether or not you're going to put a pom-pom on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take the needle off for now because I'm going to trim that anyway. So you've got your hat. You've got it secured together on the top. It's laying nicely. You've got your double brim. It's going to be nice and cozy. Now you got to decide whether you're going to put a pom-pom on. Because see here, I say it's reversible. Here, I'll show you. Check this out. Anyway, I guess if you get a spuddy enough head, then you want to reverse it so it's nicer. Hey, but it is made to kind of do this. Alright, so you can stop it there and you're good, and then all you're going to do is bring your ends in, or you can put a pom-pom on. Now you can make a pom-pom. I'm not going to cover making a pom-pom in this video. First of all, it's long enough as it is. Number two, charity work, given that it's a lot of men, they don't wear them anyway. But if you want to do a pom-pom, so if you were to make a pom-pom, you would actually use these yarns right here to tie it off. Here, I'm going to show you real quick though. Just so if you've never done those things before, there are multiple, there's my other needle, sizes of pom-pom makers on the market, okay? So you can make pom-poms however you want to make them. There's multiple sizes. There's itty-bitty ones like this. It's about like, that's actually the one I use a lot. Let's say, no, I think it's actually this one that I use a lot. But hang on a minute, and I'll show you the more popular method. But I gotta find it. Hang on. Okay, so you can get these packs of fur pom-poms. Amazon, pretty reasonable. And then, so here, I'll show you real quick. Give me a second. Let me open this. I'm thinking either the white, because it's a nice variegated. I'm going to go with white, because I don't really like the other colors with it, and the pink isn't quite right. Or maybe that mauve. Wish we could vote. I'm going to go with the mauve. Why not? I'll be honest with you, I'm going to end up taking it off anyway. So what you got here with these pom-poms is you have a fur ball with a rubber band somewhere. There it is. So you just search for the little loop rubber band. Okay. You may have to stretch it out so you can find it. Now it's there. I'm going to keep it there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use like a crochet hook or something. But first, if you're going to do the pom-pom, let's just go here first, okay? Scissors. I'm going to go ahead and trim this back so I have less issues there. We're doing the pom-pom. We've done decided that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both threads through the needle. Okay? Now I'm going to hide my end threads in the hat, inside between the layers. So I'm hitting a stitch very close to the top, and I'm just wiggling through so I know that it's between the two layers. I don't want it going through the inside. I want it between the two layers. And you just pick a stitch. Try not to go through the yarn, and as in like the threads of the yarn, because you're really then you're gonna just tug that up smidgenly. Snip it. Stretch it. That way it disappears. Okay. Now, I need to find. It might be over here. I like to use what I have, and this is a great way to use up little bitty scraps of veg tan leather if you're a leather worker. There you go. So basically, it's just honestly, they make these in the thousands, and a lot of laser cutter people can make these super easy. But I happen to have leather, and it works, and it's just a die cut circle with notches in it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take I can use my latch hook to do this. That reminds me, I didn't show you guys how to do the crochet hook for doing the yarns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that through both layers of the center point of my hat, okay? Then I'm going to come into the elastic, close the latch. Kind of key there, otherwise you're going to hook on absolutely everything. I've got that elastic, right? Now I take the holder and I loop it in there like that and hook. That makes your pom-poms removable. Okay? There it is. There's your double layer, nicely formed up double layer beanie with a pom-pom. Well, I truly do hope that you have been able to reach success in your first project, or your 100th for that matter, if you're at that point now. I truly do hope that you've been able to gain something from this course and have some success, because that's what this is for, is to help you succeed. Hopefully you've been able to pick up a little something that maybe will help you get further along in your circular knitting projects. That was the intent. If you got any value from this course and the things that I've been sharing with you, this is a small channel at this point, so if you would please subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff. If you have additional questions, don't be afraid to ask those in the comments. I'm more than happy to help you if I can. Now I have to admit, I'm going to be working on some other non-traditional knitting. That's what these are, is non-traditional knitting, and doing some flatbed knitting. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you subscribe, because that's a lot of what I'm going to be doing here. And I've got some markets coming up this fall, by the way, and I'm going to be doing some more circular knitting on just some fun stuff. Like, for instance, where did he go? Emotional support chicken. I'm going to refine that baby and get that to where it's a good thing, and sell some of those, because those are fun. And some loveys and some neat stuff. So anyway, we're going to go beyond hats, and we're also going to be doing not just the charity level, because it has to be acrylic for charity. I'm going to be getting into the fibers that are more of your wools, your alpaca, and stuff like that, to make a more sustainable, honestly, more warm project. nice, really nice, little higher end hats. Okay, so make sure you. Hopefully, if you missed this piece, if you're still having trouble, go back to the course. I think I've covered a lot of this. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this far, and hey, go create something. Yeah.